Alright, what's up everyone? It's Sam from 64 Wheels back in more diecast, and today I have a giant video because we're going to be covering all the new for 2022 Hot Wheels original castings. So a lot of people call original castings fantasy castings, which I also will during this video, much because it is the fantasy of the Hot Wheels designers of what they can come up with in terms of a build. So if you had like a fantasy build for a lowered truck like this is what the Hot Wheels designer comes up with. So these are not licensed vehicle. There's not really a brand attached to them, but they could be a vehicle in real life. Like this LoLux is probably based off the Toyota Hilux truck, but it's like a play on words where they lowered it, turned it into like this like time attack, drift, drag truck, a fantasy build, if you will, of a Hilux named LoLux. That's one type of fantasy casting, and I really like this casting. The next kind of fantasy castings are one that are totally just fantastic. Like they are just a fantasy build. Like what if you built a building block car? Boom, you get this custom small block with removable parts that is more toy than collectible. But I really like collecting fantasy cars or castings because they look great. And I have a saying that I think people who collect fantasy castings play Hot Wheels. They don't just collect them, because if you play Hot Wheels, use your imagination, these cars are some of the best cars to play with. And that's what the whole idea behind Hot Wheels is, to buy cars to play with, to have fun. And I don't think any cars embody that more than fantasy castings. So I'm really pumped to go over this year's new castings. There are a ton of good castings, and there's a surprise premium new fantasy casting, which I am so pumped about, and I think could be literally the most beautiful Hot Wheel ever made. So I'm super pumped to get into this video. This is a companion video for an article that I'm going to post over on the Lamley group, which covers, I mean, they're covering all, like, he's covering all, you know, the best Hot Wheel, Matchbox, Mini GT, the huge 64 car showdown. So be sure you hit the link in the description to go over to the Lamley blog, check it all out, and check the article about all these fantastic fantasy castings too. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to be doing these, or unboxing each of the new fantasy castings from 2022. I'm going to be doing it by number, so I'm going to go the lowest to the highest and then just unbox them. That's basically like the easiest way I could think to do it. So the first one of the year, at least the first number of the year, was number 22 for 2022, the Roadster Bite. So this is a very exotic looking car. It's like a middle driver's seat section. You can see the engine sticking out. You can actually see through the vehicle. Looks very exotic. So we'll read each one. That way we get a better idea of what the designer was talking about or envisioning when they made this particular design. So it says, this slithery single seat convertible was inspired by a Viper snake, which is kind of crazy because they actually have a Viper car already. Check out the exposed engine and fang flaps up front, if you dare. So there you can kind of see each of the little fang flaps, I think is what they're talking about right here, which do kind of look like fangs. So let's go ahead and bust this open and check it out. So a lot of the fantasy castings each year, or even just the licensed castings, they usually come out with a first color and then a second recolor, which I have I think every recolor of the year too, which I'm excited about. Some castings later in the run didn't get recolors, but we'll see different versions of those next year. So here's the first color. This is green with a yellow metal bottom. A lot of the fantasy castings have a plastic body, and I don't know if that's just due to cost and design, probably a little of both, but I think some of the plastic actually gives it give the designers a little bit more leeway to work with the design, because this in metal would probably have been wouldn't have turned out the edges as crisp as they did. But I like this. This is a cool casting. This one looks a lot more fantasy, and we'll get into color later and why the color choices on some of them do make a difference. But a lot of these castings, the fantasy castings especially, are good for the track, and this one is a speed team, and they even show like the track on it. It's a cool casting. I like to look at them, like when you look at them from above, it does kind of have like the fang shape right there. It almost looks like a cobra or a viper head right there, which I think is kind of cool. Some fantasy castings I don't like as much. There are ones I like better. This one is just middle of the road for me. But I think with a recolor, this could look a lot cooler, a lot more realistic, especially the choice of wheels. But I like these like fantasy bladed wheels. I think they look awesome, especially when they're flying down the track, which is what you're supposed to do with this car because it's a speed team. So the recolor is in gray. I actually think I like the gray better. The gray over teal looks excellent. Like I like that color combo better. They didn't change the wheels on this one, so they're the same wheels on both the original and the recolor. But I actually like the gray one a lot better. It almost looks like it has Batmobile elements back here. But this is cool. It's a nice casting. It's kind of that mix of animal and car. But I think it does it very subtly where this could almost be like a next-gen electric racer, even though it has a big exhaust or just some custom car, show car. It looks pretty cool. I like it. Let me know what you think of these in the comments afterwards too. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? And then we'll have a big conversation about them at the end, hopefully. So next up is a one I really, really like. So a few years ago, Hot Wheels started doing what are essentially Lego cars. Even though they don't own Lego, these are meant to mix in with Lego, Mega Block, I'm trying to think what else, Mega Constructs, but just like mini characters or minifigs to go on these vehicles. And they have the same kind of brick pattern, just like the custom small block as Lego. So it's multi-brand, which is cool. So you can buy a Mattel product and play Lego or whatever else. And the cool thing about these is that Hot Wheels has their own bricks like this, so you can mix and match with these vehicles. So the Bricking Trails is another one of the custom small block type vehicles that is building brick base. So these are so cool. I really like these because as a fantasy like casting person, I love to play with them. And I mean, this doubles the play factor because not only are you getting like a Hot Wheels vehicle, you're getting the building block like Lego building with them. And that's just, I mean, extra cool. So I hope people like these as much as I do because these are so killer. So just like the first one, the actual chassis is metal and the rest of the car is plastic. This is removable right here. I think this part's removable too. So there you actually have just like the building block car, and you can just do whatever you want with it. You can stick the tire actually has to go back here because that's the only brick part, but you can take parts off the custom small block right here. Like, look at this. And then we can put a huge supercharged engine in this Bricking Trails. Like, look how cool that is. I mean, just endless. You can do endless stuff with these. And it looks cool, too. To me, that almost looks like a, I don't want to say a fantasy, because obviously it's a fantasy casting, but it almost looks like an older off-road car, just in general, like from the 70s or 80s, or almost even like a Soviet era, like blockish style car. It reminds me of that kind of design. And this is cool too, because now you have a window piece. So along with the engine from custom small block, you have this window piece, you have this window piece. So you could just do so much with this car. And this car is cool too. It's got that off-road. It's got a little like winch in the front. Usually the ones that sit up a little higher aren't the best for track, but being with a metal chassis, I find that the metal chassis sometimes do a little better just because the weight distribution is a little lower, which I think like slings them down the track. But you could play with this down the track too, and you could recommend to each other and probably like get an explosion of parts, which adds to the play factor as well on that one. So I love collecting these. There's more. I think there's a bricking delivery, and then there's going to be like almost like a bone shaker type brick style car in 2023. So I'm extra excited for those. So let me put this little one back so I don't lose the pieces before I even get done with it and get some photos of it. Oh, I'm going to move this one over here. So that was the first coloration, is the red. The next one is the teal color, a little bit green. It's a good color. It's almost the same color as the bottom of this one, which is metal. So it's cool that they can do the same color in metal and plastic. Whoop, let's take this out. Yeah. So this one looks a little bit more realistic, even though it's a building brick car. I really like the white bead locks on these. It has a silver window frame, which you can even switch back and forth between the cars. The black spare tire, which I think looks more realistic. So even just between these two cars, you can switch a few parts and have a lot of fun. So for what, $2, you already have, you know, 4 pieces and 2 chassis that you can build with. So that's pretty cool. I like both these. I hope they keep doing the like the brick cars, because I really like those. So let me clean up as we go along. That way there's not a big mess. So next up is the sweet drivers. So Hot Wheels has released a ton of these food-based cars, and even though these are crazy fantasy cars, like this is probably not something that will ever be made, it seems like kids and people who just like quirky stuff really get a kick out of these food cars. Like the Donut Drifter, I got that for my wife's grandpa, because he's a big donut guy and he got a kick out of that. I love the, I'm probably gonna say it wrong, carne asada, I think is how you say it, the taco car. I thought that was really cool. The hot dog car, the street wiener. I mean, there's so many different food choices of cars. So as long as they keep releasing these, I'm gonna buy them, just because I think they're hilarious and they actually look pretty cool. Like the front of that actually looks very 32 Ford-ish, which is kind of rad. And the Hot Wheels symbol on the side built in, and they could do so many different things, like the different sprinkles, the different flavors of cars. Look at that card art. I mean, that's pretty cool. And this is a Ryu's Rides, which is cool. So I've been trying to collect all the special cars for him that they kind of did as a tribute, which I think is awesome. I think I have enough to keep 1 set carded and 1 open, obviously, because I'm opening these. But man, this is pretty cool. So it has like 2 big exhaust pipes sticking out of the back. It has the little driver. Does this one actually move or anything? Oh, I forgot to read. My bad. I forgot to read the second one. Okay, let's read the bricking trails. So it says, switch up parts, add different bricks, and design a new look. With a detachable roll cage and spare tire bumper, this customizable off-road speedster is always ready to roll. And then it even shows you what it does. Special feature. Okay, and so is the Sweet Driver, the cupcake car. Let's see. Feed your need for speed in this cupcake-themed racer where every trip down the track could lead to sweet, sweet victory. Victory. Look at that. That's cool. I like that. That actually does look very classic hot roddy. This one very fantasy, so if you're not like a fantasy or you don't enjoy the food cars, this one probably is going to be left by the traditional collectors, because I don't think a lot of them collect the food cars. But I do see a lot of kids and younger people buy these and the animal themed cars a lot, especially because they're very colorful, and to be honest, they're usually the last ones left on the shelf, and I'd like to change that, because these castings are great. Like, look how cool that is displayed. It looks like a cupcake. Like anyone who you know that likes to bake or is a foodie person, like I would take this, like my mom could have a couple of these in the kitchen displayed. It's a cool way to get Hot Wheels in the hands of people that might not traditionally collect Hot Wheels. Again, if you have like a Lego person, those would be great. The food cars are great for anyone. I mean, they're just so cool. These also make really good like wedding or party gifts, just because they are cupcake themed and they're cool cars. I like them. Again, metal chassis. As very colorful. I love the different sprinkles on them, and it even says Ryu, and then it has the Hot Wheels logo, has the little guy's head sticking out. Very cool. That will look awesome flying down the track. And these are all mainlines, so they all roll pretty well. This is the pink color variation, so this is like a, what would you flavor this? Like a strawberry cupcake with like, I don't know, lemon frosting? I don't know what you would consider that, but man, that's cool. That little Hot Wheel logo on the side is built into the chassis. That looks like a cupcake. Like they did an awesome job. Looks great. I really like the turbofan wheels. I like the turbofans. I don't know, which ones do you like better? I think I like the turbofans better. I don't know. The 5-spokes are pretty good too. But this one has a different sprinkle pattern on it. But it does say Ryu on it. Does this have the Hot Wheels? It does have the Hot Wheels too. So I'm going to put these all in my display case. I have my display case, the Hot Wheels display case up there. It has a mix of race cars. I have one for fancy castings, but it's like dug in the corner that I need to dig out and like actually like put these new ones in there, because there's some really good fantasy castings this year. So next up is the Mach It Go, and I think the blue one was first, so we'll try to do the blue one. I'm trying to do them in the like order that they actually got released. So Front wheel turbofan. The back wheel is a 5-spoke, like the plastic, like FTE style wheel. Is this an X-Racer? No, this is a Hot Wheels Speed Team, but it does have an X-Ray style body that you can see through. It's got that vintage 42 number on what I guess would be the hood. This is a nice, like, it looks very futuristic. Got that big air dam in the front. So let's flip it over and let's see. Mach It Go. Pump up the single seat racer and make it go. Side scoops flow air to a jet engine to take your sleekly designed wheels where they need to be. So this is jet engine powered. Nice. So again, if you like to play with your Hot Wheels and like pretend this has a jet engine, this sucker is going to be super fast in your imagination. So really cool. Like, look at the interior. Really nice center seating position. It's got some like controls there. It's got like the riveting around the dashboard. Really cool. It's got that, like, you can almost, there, you can see through it, like the air dam that goes through it. Again, this has the good for track on the bottom. Another metal chassis, plastic body car. I like this. It's cool that you can actually see the wheels through it. Like, they don't do a lot of clear like fenders like that. That's kind of cool. I like the mismatch wheels. I'm a fan of mismatch wheels too. So it's got that big jet turbine sticking out of the back. It's got the Hot Wheels Speed Team on the wing. Really nice casting. I like the see-through bodies because it's a fantasy casting. So if you're going to like go all in for fantasy, why not be able to see through the car? Like, imagine if we were driving down the road and like a new Ferrari had like a red see-through body, or a Lamborghini, or even like a Hellcat had a see-through body. Like, how rad would that be? It's like some James Bond stuff. Man, that's cool. Very sleek looking. So it'll be interesting too, next year or the following years when they do like recolors of this car and they don't make this a see-through body and it gets like a solid body, what that'll look like and what kind of designs they'll be able to do with it. Because this is a really nicely shaped body, like race car wise. Like, it almost looks like it could be like a 24 Hours of Le Mans style car. Really nice. I like that. The little windshield, very aerodynamic. Cool. All right, let's, man, I got a lot of stuff on there. There is the recolor. Oh man, I think the blue looks good, but man, does that silver looks great on this. Ooh, I like this. So I think I like this one better just because the actual body is clear and you can see so much more of the design and you get to appreciate the details they put into this. Because remember, these are original castings. So whoever was the designer behind this made this from scratch. They put that fire extinguisher behind the person's head. They put the rivets on the floor, the little controls, the seatbelt, the steering wheel, everything they got to design from scratch. So even like the little rivets underneath there, that's so cool. Man, that's awesome. I really like that in silver. Silver and clear is cool. I like that. Same, I think, yeah, same decal, same number. Like, it's just a recolor / body color, but it looks cool. Man, again, racing these would look slick at the same time. Awesome. All right, let's see what else. Okay, we got, I forgot to read the numbers. Anyways, we're up to 83, Count Muscula. So this first came out in the red, I believe. I think the green was the recolor. I'm just going to start off and say, I hate these wheels. These are ugly, ugly wheels. I have never liked them, but the one redeeming factor is when you roll them, they do look cool. So again, if you're going to play with these or run them down the track, they do look pretty rad. So let's see, let's look at the details. It's got flames, stripes, all the classic like hot rod race car type stuff. Huge wing out back. It's got some what I think are square exhaust pipes sticking out. It's a very long and low car. Oh, I can't wait to get that open and see the actual headlight detail and stuff. So I think this one, okay, so this one does have a special feature. The front spoiler does move up and down. So Count Muscula. This road-hugging muscle car looks like it came from Detroit but was designed in El Segundo. It boasts a supercharger, a huge rear spoiler, and a big rear diffuser. Whether you're drag racing by day or cruising at night, it's bound to impress. So, huge supercharged engine, right? Is that what I said? Supercharger, rear spoil, rear diffuser. So that's the diffuser they're talking about. So let's bust it open and take a closer look at the design elements on this one. Not gonna lie, this one, when I saw it on shelves, I was like, I I don't know if I like it as much just because the wheels throw me off. But when I see the side, it almost looks like it could be like a Jaguar coupe stretched out. I don't know. I like it. I like how they put the elements deep inside there, just to make it more aerodynamic. I'm not a flames person, so I don't really like flames because this one to me is a little confusing because they're mixing flames and stripes. Like, when's the last time you saw flames and stripes on a car, especially like a race style car? I don't know if I've ever seen it, but let's see. Let's look at these wheels. See, those look good spinning. Let's see if I can do it both. Yeah, it looks good. All right, let's try this front spoiler. Oh, nice. Okay, so it does have like the headlight or the window insert does look like it goes all the way down to the headlights there and the little scoop. So you get that like clearish headlight looking material, which is cool. I always think clear headlights look awesome. That has a really, really mean profile from the front there. That looks really good. And the wing is nice. Okay. So there it is. You can push this up to like put the splitter or the front spoiler up. I think they originally did this so the car does better on the track, but even if you don't play with it on the track, it's cool that it has a movable part, so you could like pull it up in a trailer like on one of the team transport trucks, or send it down the track and it won't get stuck, especially if you're sending it up a loop. But this one is a little long, so I don't know if it would go through a loop or not. But it's cool to have a moving part on any car, whether it's fantasy or a licensed casting. That's really cool. So, so far, I like this casting. I don't like the wheels and the paint job, but I think I like the red one better than the green one. But the green paint on this in general is outstanding. Like, it's like a satin green color. I don't know how many, like, I don't remember seeing this on a lot of other Hot Wheels, but man, is it killer. And I think the flames stick out a little better on this one because they're contrasting the paint, where these look like they're just a little bit darker red. So you really get the flame element on this one. Instead of the chrome wheels, it has the painted gray or almost like primer wheels, which still look good. Like, even when they spin, I think they look really good. So that's another reason to go out and play with these. Again, let me know in the comments which one you prefer. I think I prefer the red one just because the flames aren't as noticeable, but the green color is probably one of the better colors I've seen on a Hot Wheel in general. It just looks great. So this has the same spoiler, it's the same casting, but it looks good. It looks good in green. I think the one fail, oh man, that's a little tough to get back down. Did I do it right? Yes, no? I don't want to break it. Okay, we'll leave it there so I can do it off camera. I don't want to break it. But I will be interested in seeing which kind of wheels they put on this in the future in paint job, because I think this would look really good with just even some turbo fans or some 5 spokes. And then a Hot Wheels livery on this would be absolutely killer. So cool. I'm excited to play with that one. Okay, we made it through the first half. Yay. All right, thanks for sticking with me. Next up, we have probably two or the most anticipated fantasy casting of the year, the Coupe Clip, the Hot Wheels with no wheels. It's kind of a oxymoron, but this car was so hard to find when it first came out. People snatched this up like it was a brand new, like Hot Wheels got the Ferrari license back. I mean, that's how fast these were selling out. Cool part, if you've never seen it, it is a solid brick of metal. It has no plastic on it. It has one tampo, which is like the door gumball for a number. Well, oh, it has a little Hot Wheels thing on the side. So it's one color tampo, all metal, no wheels, because it is a keychain. It is a Hot Wheels keychain. How cool is that? I think we're going to see this quite a few years to come, and I know this is going to be one that I collect because it is super rad, and people have been customizing them, and I think this is one of the best Hot Wheels original designs, like original designs outside of an actual vehicle that they've had in quite some time. So there it shows a special feature. It is a keychain, and then we'll read it. So it says, keep your passion for speed close to the hip with this slick keychain clip. This sculpted coupe looks fast with its polished metal body, but it will stay put no matter where you're headed. So, man, that is so cool. And I'm really excited because I've waited all year to open this. I haven't opened one yet, even though I probably have 10 of them because I bought a bunch of them because I was like, you know what, that's so cool. I want to have those. Give as gifts, to keep, to use as keychains. And it's cool because it has no wheels. Man, that's awesome. So it has flat, like you can actually see the tires are flat. So we'll kind of go here. So it will just sit flat. So you can put this like on a counter or stick it in your pocket without bending a wheel like a traditional Hot Wheel. Like a lot of people custom make Hot Wheel keychains and they will like drill one out and just put a keyring in it. But this is cool because it's actually made to be a keychain. So there's nothing that will catch in your pocket. Like there's no sharp edges. There's no plastic to break. There's no really paint to wear off other than the paint bubbles. There's nothing to like really grab in your pocket. This is an excellent design. So I like it. I mean, is this the first Hot Wheel? It might be the first Hot Wheel with no windows and no wheels. That's a car. Like, because I know they've made like boats or helicopters or planes, but I think this might be the first like car-based vehicle with no elements to it. But it looks excellent. Like, look how sleek that looks. So cool. There's the keychain hole. I mean, it's got a pretty thick little piece of metal right there, so it's not like it's a cheap keychain. Let me know in the comments if you're using this as a keychain, and if so, how's it going? Has it held up well? Have you found anything wrong with it? You know, has it caught on your pants or anything? It's a little heavy to use as a keychain in my opinion, just because, I mean, it's full metal, but it doesn't weigh a whole bunch. But like if you're hanging it from your dash, because it is metal, it might take some paint off your dash. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool either way. I like it. So the recolor, man, the recolor is slick. And that beautiful like candy apple red color, man, that's awesome. All right, let's check this. Nice. So this actually has a matte black chassis, which is cool because it separates like it does a little bit of the elements. This almost looks like the 240, is it the custom 240Z? The blue one they first released with like the Need for Speed paint job. It almost looks like that. But this, I mean, this is beautiful. It almost looks like one of the paint sample cars that you see hung up at Mattel's headquarters a lot of times, where it's like red, Zamac, like that's almost what it looks like. This one might be a little more tricky to use as an actual keychain because it does have a lot of painted elements. The body is painted and the chassis is painted, so this I could see getting scratched up a little. But man, this is so cool. For $1 to get a keychain like this, absolutely awesome. Groundbreaking. So cool. Okay. Oh, and look at the size, because it is all metal and a keychain. It is quite small. I mean, let's see. Yeah, it's pretty tiny. Like it fits in the footprint of the, I can't remember what's this, Roadster Bite. I'm so bad at remembering the names. Man, that's cool. That paint job is beautiful. Beautiful castings. Shout out to Hot Wheels. Ooh, my little doggy saying hi down here. Okay. Finally, to the actual LoLux. So I have a ton of these open. So I just wanted to show you the package of what the card art looked like on the red one, because I have probably 5 of these open, because this is one I really like to play with because it's such a great casting. So let's go ahead and read the back. LoLux. This truck may be low to the ground, but you'll be riding high in this unique design. The supercharged engine, aero kit, and dragster tires give this truck a real racing spirit. So you have the supercharged engine, the aero kit, and dragster tires. So it's almost like a mix of racing genres. So to me, this looks like it could be a drift truck. It could be racing up Pikes Peak. It could be a time attack truck. It could be a drag truck. There's so many cool things. And because it's a fantasy casting, you can play with it whatever you want. One day it could be a drag truck. The next day you could be drifting in it. But it's just so cool. So it has like, I can't even remember what that stuff's called. I'm totally blanking on that. It's something, diamond plate. I was like, I know it's something steel or plate. Okay, so it has like diamond plating on the back, has a chrome plastic chassis, metal body with the Hot Wheels graphics, the 33 on the hood. I don't know if that, does that say something in it? It might. I don't know. I might be missing something in that paint job. I don't know if it spells something or says something, but it looks like it might. It almost looks Japanese. I don't know. If you know what it is in the comments, let me know. I might have to do some digging on that because it looks like it might be something because the design is flip-flopped, like it says something on there. I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at like one of those like brain teasers where you're like, what do you see in this picture? I'm like, I don't know. But it might be Japanese. Does it say, it doesn't say anything about it, does it? It almost looks like a word there. I don't know. That's cool though. I'm gonna have to do some digging on that one. Look for the article on that one. If I find anything on it, I will let you know. But this truck is so cool. It has a bigger window door. It has 2 seats on the inside. You can see the shifter there. The window has a built-in, it looks like it's a light bar up front, and then the headlights themselves are just a like square. It look like they're 2 LED bars there. More diamond plate up front. That front like really hardcore spoiler in the front, like that is like that almost looks like twisted metal. If that was true diamond plate, it would be so heavy. Look at it glisten. Mismatched wheels, which I really like. The red on this is perfect. To me, this was a perfect color choice for this. I like the orange and the white. Red and white just looks so good together. And it looks excellent on this truck too. So you have that big air intake to the back. So that could be the radiator back there or just the air intake for the engine in general. You can see the big engine sticking through. It's got the exhaust pipe sticking up almost like a little semi-truck right there. Oh, so cool. It's got like, I guess it would be roll bar, but almost like a tube chassis in the back. It's got more diffusers right here on the side. It has little lights built in. Up here, it's got that huge spoiler out back. So cool. I love this casting. I would love to see a premium version of this because it is absolutely awesome. Okay, let's look at the recolor. Blue looks great in blue too. I still prefer the red. When I first saw it, I was pumped to see that it was coming out in a recolor, but I was like, I like the red better. The blue looks cool though. The blue and the lime green do look cool. Man, I swear that says something. I can't wait to find out what that actually says. So it might be hard to tell, but the wheels themselves are that like green tinted too. Can you see that? There a little bit. But they're like that light, like mint green tinted as well as the back rim of the wheel is green as well. So, man, that looks good. Oh, look at that. You could be drifting, doing some tandems in the LoLux. Man, that's sick. Oh, yeah. Like that casting. I like that one a lot, guys. I like it. This next one, oh, amazing as well. The Glory Chaser. So as soon as I saw this previewed online, I'm like, that is a beautiful car. Like this just looks like a iconic design of a Jaguar or an older like 60s race car Roadster. I mean, it just looks beautiful. It really does. Card art looks awesome. Retro racers. So cool. Okay, let's flip this one over. A homage to the glorious race cars of the 50s and 60s. This classic would fit right in at the, I'm going to butcher that. How do you say it? Millie McGill? We'll just skip it. In Le Mans race competition. So it's a 50s and 60s. It's Hot Wheels designers' take on a 50s and 60s Le Mans style race car. Open roof, just beautiful. The initial color was this like off green color, and then it came out when red, a much more eye-grabbing color. I really like them both. Let's get them open and see which one looks better open, because it's a tough decision for me. Like the LoLux in red, I was like, oh, winner. But this one, I don't know, this looks really good. It just looks period correct in this color. Man, that looks pretty mean. That almost looks more like a Roadster Bite than the Roadster Bite does. Nice, those V8 stacks, those individual injection stacks sticking out of the hood. It's got the clear headlight, which I like. Oh, does it have, I'm trying to see. I really like what they did with the headlight detail on this one. So it's kind of hard to tell, but there's almost like a little cone inside. Can you see that? They've shaped it to make it look like it has headlights. Really good design. Man, shout out to whoever designed this. The seats have harnesses in them. They have the little hoop bars. It's got the wraparound dash, the steering wheel, the shifter. It's chrome. It's got door handles. It's got little mirrors up on the fender. Man, that's so cool. That big, sweet, like swept wheel design. It's got the little, like, I guess those are spoilers or canards up front. Very aerodynamic. Like, it looks like something off Speed Racer. Nice. Got the exhaust pipe sticking out back. Man, that is just a very clean design. I love it. The green and the yellow go very well together. I hope it's coming through on camera because this casting looks like a work of art. It really does. If you told me this was like an Aston Martin or a Jag or some type of prototype something from the 60s, I would believe you. The fact that this is an original design is fantastic. It really is. They nailed this one. So beautiful. And it's got the classic 5-spoke wheels. Can't go wrong with that. Nice. I want to play with it. I just want to end the video and play with these because they're so good. Okay, here it is in red. Red with orange. Which is actually just like very similar to the LoLux. Let's take a look at it. It's got a much brighter orange and a brighter red. But it's kind of in the same style. I like it. Man, the red looks good. So I can't tell if the back, I think the back is orange. I think it has orange dots on it. It does. Just like this one has the red dots on the back. It does have orange. It's a little hard to see just because of the paint and the glare though. But it looks great. The silver, it's got the same type of silver interior, almost clear. Is it clear? I think it is clear. It's got the chrome dash. Seats look good. The seats actually have a lot of detail. Has those same chrome injection stacks. Has the same headlights. There you can kind of see like the almost what look like circles in them. It looks really mean. It does. Man, that's a beautiful car. I don't know which one I like. The red is just very poppy, but I think the green looks more period correct. I don't know. The yellow is, or the red is rad too. Oh, I don't know. Man, that would be a hard one. If you told me I could just buy one, ooh, that would be tough. Man, but that's a beautiful, beautiful design. So cool. Hot Wheels nailing it. Like, look how nice those look. Man, those are so killer. All right, next up, we have a really hot, I think a lot of people like this one that might not have been fantasy casting collectors in the first place, but this one kind of reeled them in, the Lane Lowrider. So this is Hot Wheels' take on the classic 60s to 70s big body lowrider. Really nice casting. It has like what I would consider like the hydraulics raised in the front and slammed in the back. It's got nice pinstriping on it. This one has a cool, it's a rocking motor design. So the moving part is like when you roll it, it kind of like goes back and forth as you play with it. And this one says, can you feel the powerful tremble of the hot rod engine in this lowrider? With a high nose and tilted stance, this one is sure to draw attention. So I like it. It's interesting. All right, let's bust it open. This was the first color, was like the maroon, and then the next color was like the aqua metallic, which is a really nice color too. Hot Wheels has such a good color palette. Like I don't know how many colors they probably have to pick from, but I could not, like that would be such a hard job to pick a single color and to do a design on a casting because there's so many. They just have great imagination, and we're seeing this play out in real life. So that color is awesome. And the engine moves back and forth. Just almost looks like a supercharger, like a root style supercharger up top. I don't know what the front is supposed to exactly look like. It almost has like overhangs like a 50, is that a 58 Chevy? but it looks more like a 60s or 70s. So I think it's just a mix. I know it's a fantasy casting. It's not supposed to be exact, so it probably took elements from a few different cars. Almost looks like a 70 Fury front end too. I love Plymouth. Man, the tampo work on that is nice. I mean, occasionally I'll come across this, like where a car, I think another one had it. I can't remember which one it was. Has like where the tampos are off, like scratched a little. These are 99 cents or just over $1 now. I don't expect everyone to be perfect because these are mass made. This one has quite a few chunks out of it, especially when the paint job is so intricate on it. Of course, I would like to be perfect, but usually if I'm really going after one, I'll take a couple seconds and look over a few in the store and find the best ones, but this one's got a couple, so that kind of sucks, but the casting itself is awesome. It's got that really high stance in the front, the chrome bottom, the tampos on top look beautiful. Like that pinstriping is awesome. Looks very real, like very realistic. 2 different colors. I like it. Let's see how it rolls. So there it is. As you roll it, you can see right there. Oh, I'll try to close to the camera. So you can see the engine go back and forth. Usually it's something, I don't know if we can see it. Usually it's something like a little tab attached to the axle. And then when it spins, that's usually what does it. Is it this side? Yeah, so this side of the axle. Well, we might have to snap one of these open one day and see it. But I think that's the one, right? Was that the one doing it? Maybe both. Maybe on both. I don't know. It's the front axle either way. This is a nice guess. I like that Hot Wheels back there. Okay, let's open this one up. That paint job is pretty slick too. Man, that's nice. So this one looks like it survived a little better, especially on the back side of the card, than the red one did. It doesn't look like there's as many like paint spots on this one. Looks like the paint held up a little better. So if you're gonna buy one of these and don't care about the color, the blue one might be the one to go for because the tampos do seem to be holding up a little better. But in my opinion, I think the red one is the way to go. I like that red. Even though the blue with the gold wheels is pretty cool. Again, let me know in the comments which one you like. That definitely looks like 70 Impala. 70 or 60? 69, 69, 70, 71 maybe. Impala, however you say it. I know you can say it both ways, but man. The interior, it's a little sparse on that one. It's got 2 seats. I don't even see a dash. Is the dash missing out of that one? I don't know. I don't even think this has a dashboard. Look, I think it just goes straight to the floor. So we forewent a dash for the moving engine, which I don't really care because it's kind of hard to see anyways, especially if you're playing with it. I would rather have the engine than the dash. Interesting. That'll be a cool one to collect, to see what they do with it and then have like a whole fleet of lowriders for $1. That's awesome. Okay, next up, this could be my favorite fantasy casting of the year, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, so forgive me. The Dimachini Veloce, I think is how you say it. It came out in blue first, and then the recolor in red. I bought a ton of these. I really, really like this casting. Like, look how mean that looks. It definitely looks like a rally Pantera. Like, it looks like it was heavily influenced by Pantera or a Lancia rally car, a little of both mixed in with those huge lights. It's got the pop-up, the bulging hood or trunk, depending wherever the engine is on this one. We might have to flip the card back over. Really, really like this casting. This has excellent play function because it's like a rally car. I like that it has mud flaps. So again, this is one I've already opened and have a few of. But if you like to actually play and enjoy your cars, the cool thing about this is the mud flaps when you drive it across like a fabric surface, like a couch or a chair, usually like dust will get built up or like fuzzies behind it, and then it actually looks like it's catching dust. So cool. Seriously, I know that probably sounds so like nerdy as like an adult collector, but it's so cool that it actually does that because it makes the play function of this car just so much better, which as a collector of these cars, I very, very much enjoy. So excellent detail. That bulging hood, Firestone, I love that it has actual licensed branding on it, even though it's a fantasy casting. So cool. I love this thing. I can't tell, is that clear? Or is it, I can't tell, hang on. I think that is clear. This is clear back here. This is another one that I'd like to drill apart to actually see the interior because it does have a full interior. It's just a little hard to see. It has those awesome like little cutout racing windows. The Castrol, the Firestone. Oh man, this thing is so cool. The little Dima. I'm sure I won't be able to pronounce his name. Hot Wheel designer Dimitri made this. He's known as Dima, I think is how you pronounce that. It's short, like his nickname. He designed this. And this could be my winner of the year. Just the spoiler, like look at the profile of that car. Looks so good. The widened rear fenders, like the flares that stick out. I love that they ended up putting like the steel style wheels with the gray outline on it. So cool. I love this. And it has quite a few Tampo colors. So we have black, white, red, yellow. We have 4 Tampos. 4 Tampo colors, and they're over what? 1, 2, 3 sides of the car. Excellent casting. I don't think this one moves or anything. So good. That part's clear because you can see the post through the edge of the car, but you see the exhaust. It's got those huge rally mud flaps. Like if you took this outside and played with it in the dirt, oh my gosh, talk about a beautiful play experience. That would be it. Man, that looks really sick from the back. So good. Okay, let me read the car. I don't think I read it right. Okay. Dimachini Veloce. Our own take on the 70s Italian Grand Tour, this 4-seater coupe would have been slaying the turns of the Rally San Remo? It's ready to shred asphalt or gravel. Oh, so good. So good. So definitely, so a Pantera would only be 2 doors. So this would almost be more like a Lamborghini. Is it a Jota? Is that how you say it? Maybe even one of the Lamborghini cars from the late 70s that had 4 seats. A little bit of both, because to me it does look very Pantera-y in the front too. So sick. I love this casting. I could play with this all night long. And I probably will after this video is over. Yeet! So, okay, the red recolor, very nice as well. This is an interesting red because to me there's 3 reds on this car. There's this like Hot Wheels Daredevil red. There's this, which is almost like a plum color. And then the actual car, to me, is more like a maroon color than the plum on the car. There's definitely a difference in real life. If you can't see it on the video, go out and buy one for yourself because this is a casting you have to put in your collection. Man, it looks good in red, too. Got some goobers on there. There it is. Same thing, Firestone. It's got the black. Oh, this one you can see it a little better. Is there a tire back there? I think there is. I think there's a spare tire back there. It looks like it. Oh, definitely going to have to drill one of these beauties open and see what's inside. Look how sick that looks. The gold over the black looks good too. I don't know. This one you can see a lot. Like you can see the post a lot better. I don't know if it's just because the paint, but that post really sticks out on the red one. Not so much on the blue one though. Yeah, you can definitely see there's a tire in there. That you can't see at all on the blue one. Man, I'm really, really excited to see what they do with this one in the coming years. Again, this is a fantasy casting. I would love to see go premium. This is just so darn good. Love it. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. I got to lean towards the blue. The blue with the Hot Wheels, the red and the yellow Hot Wheels logo looks so good. It's probably my favorite combination of colors. Looks good. Okay. Man, I'm so excited. Those are so sick. Those deserve to be played with. They deserve to be displayed. They're just so good. Okay, next up, we have another brick building car, the Bricking Speed. So we only have a few left, so thanks for sticking with me. We'll be going over you know, a few more and then we'll kind of tidy up at the end. But bricking speed. So this is like a race car coupe-ish. Almost like open wheel Indy style car. I don't know. I don't know how you explain this one. It looks cool though. Let's flip it over and see. So you can see the little pieces come off there. Inspired by vintage open wheel race cars, this playful brick car has a movable spoiler and driver. Stack your parts in different ways and race to the finish line. So another brick car. Oh man, look at that Hot Wheels logo. That is retro goodness right there. That looks like straight 80s. 70s, whatever. Oh, the wing. Like, look at that. That is so cool. And it comes off so we can stick it on the other cars too. So it has, I assume this is the engine. Oh, look at the little driver's head, the helmet. Sweet. So technically you could put that on that. Like, I love that these mix together. So metal chassis, blue bricking speed. I love red and white. It looks great. Oh, that actually looks really sick when you spin those on. That was awesome. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the like inbound shock absorbers right there. So they do put some like real car detail in it as well. They have a square on the side of each of these. And I don't know if that's like, should I know what that is? Is that for something? Because I think it's on all of them, isn't it? Yeah, it has that little like brick indentation on all the sides, but I don't know what that is. Am I missing something? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know what that is right offhand, because offhand I don't. But this is cool. Okay, it's got the little headlights. It's another good brick building car. Again, if you're collecting, if you like Legos or other brick building sets, like technically Mattel's is Mega Constructs now, like Mega Blocks, which are awesome. I did a video on the Bigfoot that they released, absolutely killer set. This looks awesome. Like, look how rad that looks. Very exotic looking. And that is so cool. I just love that piece in the back. Okay. Let's open up the other one. This one has a kind of a wild, like to me, this one looks more toyish, where that one looks more like, I don't want to say real, but I like the color combo a little better. Looks a little more modern. This looks like classic, like primary color. And I like the Hot Wheels logo on the other one better, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and bust this open. All right, so this one has a green metal chassis, blue. It's got the number 1 on there. It's got the little Hot Wheels logo. So now we can check, like we can switch them. We can do blue, red. We can switch the engine. The engines are actually kind of close. It's definitely orange and yellow, but they're pretty close. It's probably the same yellow. Is it the same yellow as this one? Probably. Probably the color variation on the camera is a little bit different, but it looks like in real life. Same wheels, just different color. I like the red one definitely better, I think. And just that classic Hot Wheels logo looks great on that one. It's not hateful on that one, but the red is the winner on this one. Bricking speed. Very cool. Okay. Let's see what we have up next. I think we have 4 more to go, 5 more to go, and that's it. So the Turbo Sublime X-Ray Racer. So this one actually has an X-Ray body. Unlike, I can't remember, I'm having a hard time remembering the names. Whoop. Mach It Go. So this one has a clear body, but it is not an X-Ray racer. That was like a Track Stars, I think. So this one has an actual X-Ray body. In a second, I will show you the 2023 version of this and why paint choice and wheels make a difference to a fantasy casting. Well, to any casting, but a lot of fantasy casting. So the cool thing about this one is a lot of the X-Ray racers, the insides of them are that like clearish or like a whitish plastic, which is glow in the dark. So these glow in the dark, which is awesome. Just another free feature that they put in. But this cast, like, look how exotic that looks. It looks very electric vehicle-y. I don't know if it is. Oh, it glows in the dark and it's got a moving part. Okay, look straight into the future of driving with the sleek, stylish racer. 2 engines, multiple intakes, and a see-through body will have you looking cool driving in the past, present, or future. Boom, look at that. All right. Oh, snap. Got too excited there. Okay. Look at that body. It's pretty well. It's got a little looseness to it, but the chassis, like right to the side of the steering wheel, like it looks like a big mega display, which is kind of cool. It's got that little air intake up top. All this does glow. So you can like see the exhaust and everything glow too. That looks like a turbo fan right there. I don't think that's a spare tire. It looks like some kind of turbine back there. It's a little hard to tell because of the body. So we'll see if we can see it in the other one, which has a, this one is tinted. So it's like a tinted, almost like a gray color. Let's see it. There's the spoiler up for track mode, time attack, orange track mode. But I like the color. I like the metallic blue on it. It looks really good. Overall, the shape is really nice. The see-through wheels even. Again, these are ugly, ugly wheels, but they actually look cool on this one. They match the vibe. Cool, okay. So here is the recolor. So let's take a closer look at this one. So this one is actually clear, so we can get a better look. So there is a turbine in the back. So that is a really nice design element. You can see some buttons to the side there. What looks like, I think is a fire extinguisher right there. Oh man, look at the detail. Like the gridded floor has details. Nice, I like that. It's cool to see the rivet is clear. It's cool to see down in there, like the process of the rivet. That's kind of a cool element. I like that. I don't know if you can see it on the front. I don't know. Can't see it on the front as well. But that's probably the first time I've like really looked at a clear body and seen the rivet like that. I like that. That's cool. That's a cool little extra. This has the same paint job. And this one is probably the better one if you want to see the actual glowing, because this is behind the tinted plastic where this one's clear. So if you're really going after the glow in the dark element, I would highly suggest the clear orange one. But both have the same wheels. But I wanted to show you for 2023, this one, which I just picked up at Walmart the other day, and this looks so much better because it looks like a real car. Now, which is odd because we're talking about fantasy castings, which aren't real anyways, but when you compare these two, this looks like a peg warmer. This looks like something I want to pick up in general. I pick these up anyways, but I'm talking about like the standard collector that usually doesn't pick up fantasy castings, because that looks so much better. It really does. Like, to me, this is a cool play experience in the glow, but this one, no glow. Obviously, they've made the whole body out of a solid piece of plastic that has no windows. It just looks very sleek. It still has the spoiler. Those Aero disc wheels look so much better on it. It's got a white metal chassis. I mean, look how much better that looks. I love it. I really like fantasy castings, and I also really like it when they look like they could be real, because it adds that like play element in there for me. So this is a Hot Wheels 55 race team. So this is the 55th anniversary line for Hot Wheels coming in 2023. They did the same thing with, in 2018, what was it, the 50th anniversary team, where the cards were like a little orange and yellow hued. So they're doing the same thing, and there you can see like almost the same style logo. They're using the same 5, but this is a awesome car. So if you're into more realistic looking fantasy castings, this version of the Turbo Sublime will come out next year. But if you're into like really playing with them, especially on the track, the glow element on this one is excellent. So sweet. Okay. Oh snap, had a collision. All right, next up, the Hot Wired. I really like this one as well. So this is Hot Wheels' take on an electric dragster, which I love the name Hot Wired. Get it? So, oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Okay. This car brings drag racing into the modern age. Wires and cables surround the driver in our first ever Hot Wheels electric dragster. This aggressively styled vehicle looks older, but has modern tech with massive e-motors and classic dragster style. So there are the massive electric motors out back. They are pretty big, huge dragster tires, and it does look like it could be an old dragster, especially from that angle. It looks older, but then just the, like it says EV, the EV elements make it look newer. Like, that card art is sick. I really like this casting. I probably said that on all of them, but there's some that I think do a good job of spanning the new models, like the electric, especially. Like, I thought the Twin Mill Gen E was a beautifully done casting. I think they did a great job bringing that into like the electric car age. Look at, man, a lot of detail. It's got the little belt and roll bar. We got some details down there. You got like the drag racing style wheels up front, the skinnies, which are cool, and they're unpainted. They're just plastic, which is pretty rad. You got the big aero disc out back. It says hot wired, the EV. Oh, cool. Look, it's got little springs like built into the chassis. It's got the made for track. It's got 2 little ducts in the bottom. It's got those big electric motors out back. Like, I don't really know. Like, that's the one hard thing about playing with electric stuff is like, whether it's a Tesla or this hot wire dragster, like they don't go brrrr. You just, I don't know. The noise is the noise in the play is different, but man, that looks cool in front. I like it. I like the debut colors. This is one I believe they've only released 1 color of. I could not find a recolor of this online for 2022. I know it's coming out in 2023 already with a recolor, so I believe this is the only coloration in its first edition, which is cool. I really like the green over red or orange. I think the design is done well, and I like that dragster body style. This is one I'll collect too because I like that one. Electric or not, it looks awesome. I know everyone has different opinions on electric cars or whatever. So next up is the Lightning Bug. So this is a glow in the dark. This is an X-ray racer. Hot Wheels take on like a sand dune buggy. But this is one that I was excited to open, so I opened one. And my little nephew had one, and my sister-in-law was like, does this glow? And I'm like, it does glow. So I was like, I already had it open, so I like rushed to show her it glowing in the dark. But okay, let's read the card. Bug out in this modern day buggy car. Inspired by the iconic dune buggies of the 60s, there's cargo space under the hood, an exposed rear engine, and a raw tube frame. A buggy never looks so cool. Very cool card art. Those like bug eyes sticking out of the front, which I think is a cool element because when you look at it, it almost looks like it's magnified. That's one of the coolest parts of this. Like the way they did the plastic, it gives it that like magnification look in the front, like it is an actual bug's eye. I think they did a great job with that. It's got the X-ray body. It's got the springs out back that are what? Not longitudinally mounted. I probably said that wrong. It's got the crossbar, like I said, it has a tube chassis. It's got the 2 seats in there. Got some nice detail. Really cool. I don't know. Oh, that looks like the engine out back, almost like a Volkswagen rear engine, like an air-cooled engine. It's got clear wheels, which we don't see too often, just the actual clear ones, as opposed to like the orange clear or where the blue ones, like the blue clear ones. We don't see a ton of just the clear wheels, because you can see the actual design in them, which is pretty wild. I like seeing some behind the scenes Hot Wheels stuff like that. Pretty rad. I like this one. This is another one that only came in a single color. So for its first coloration, this is it as far as I know. So let me actually show you this one lit up because there's a ton of X-ray, like a ton of black and white, a ton of glow in the dark in this one. Okay, it's a little hard to see, but on the left here is the Lightning Bug, and you can see how much of that chassis glows. It looks great. I don't know if you can see the plastic, the headlights there are a little bit hard to see, but this is a really nice casting. And then here is the oh man, I can't remember what this one's called. Turbo Sublime. But there is it's kind of hard to see, but there's what the clear body version of that. Like that little turbine is right back here. But it's a little hard to see. The glow's kind of running out on them. It took me a second to turn off all the lights, but that's what they look like, X-ray racers in the dark. Okay, now you've seen what that looks like in the dark. Let's move on to the next one. And it is the Max Steel. So this thing looks incredible. A lot of design stuff going on right off the bat, even on the card art. This one is painted very similarly to the Ericsson rod, the mod rod, and then the muscle and blown from the past couple years. They're like the Hot Wheels original designs that had that same matte blue style paint job with the goldish numbers and then usually like a maroon recolor. This one, I don't think I've seen a recolor, at least at the time of filming. This is the only color I've seen this in, and it looks cool in this color. It goes along very well with those other three I was just talking about. But look at the card art. A lot of details in that. Okay, let's read the back. Okay, this High Boy hot rod is one of a kind. Featuring a low, air-cooled flat 6 engine, the vehicle's body is smooth and riding high. A single-seater speedster, it's truly a unique design. So it has a air-cooled flat 6. It's kind of interesting. I don't know an air-cooled flat 6, so would that be a Porsche engine, I think? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, cars with air-cooled flat 6 engines. So there you can see the big fan in the front. You can see the lights, the open like suspension design. It's got skinnies up front, which is cool. It's got that 6-cylinder air-cooled engine, or not as, yeah, what was it? I don't know. Am I messing it up? Oh yeah, air-cooled flat 6. So it's got that flat 6 up front. It's got that nice gold design on it. I like that single-seater cockpit. It looks like it, oh, I like the shifter, how it's on like the rail in the center. Probably not even showing it right. That's like a, kind of like an old land speed record, like hot rod design feature when the shifter is like on the, like that, I don't want to call it the chassis, but like just in the center like that. I like it. I like the engine. The engine has a cool design. I'll have to Google what engine that was in real life, like what car used that flat 6 design. I like this. This is a nice casting. You can see the differential pumpkin there out back. I assume that's the gas tank. The gas tank, it's very aerodynamic. Like, look how cool that looks. Slick boy. It's got that little window. Or I wouldn't even call it a window. It's more like a cowling that just pops the air over the driver's head there. It's got a chassis. It's got, that is probably like either the oil pan or the trans pan. You see a little bit more of the differential out back. This is a cool design. The engine is throwing me off on this one because I don't know what it's from. I'm gonna have to Google it, but man, this will go excellent with the rest of them. I wish I had the rest of them here, but they're in a different location. I don't have the rest of the cars, like the original designs that match this here, but I really like this one. This will be a cool one to see what they do with it too, because I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of that one. Nice design. Cool, okay. All right, I think this is the last mainline one, and then we have one more that's a premium. So thanks for sticking through all this. Let me know your thoughts on all these cars in the comments too, once we get to the end. But this one is Drone Duty, which I really like because I have my Part 107 drone. I fly drones in real life for different people as part of my job, and I think that this car is particularly cool. So cool that I've already opened one. I've opened several, and I've kind of shown this. I gave this car to my nephew and showed him how the top pops off because it has a moving part. So let's go ahead and read this one. Speed off or take flight to any emergency on the track. This half drone, half car vehicle can detach and fly to any crisis. Buckle up and get ready to rescue. So I like that they made this a rescue car. So let's go ahead and check it out. So here it is over here. So this is a rescue vehicle, trackside rescue. So if you're, fantasy playing Hot Wheels, this would be good for like a rally or even like the Nürburgring, a huge racetrack where you couldn't get an ambulance to the person quickly. You could pop off the drone part of this and then fly away. So let's look at the casting. Yes, I know I don't like these wheels, but when they're moving, especially in yellow, they look good. So that's not my favorite part, but I really like the design. So this top plastic piece detaches and it has little like drone rotors in it. So this would be like the actual drone right here. And it's cool because you can see the person laying down in the side of it. So it's like a lying position. And I think, I don't want to say that's a steering wheel, but it looks like he has something in his hand, like whether it's a control and it's on both sides. I'm not 100% sure what he has in his hands, but either way. So the easiest way to do this is just grab from the side and pull, and this pops off, and there is the actual like drone part. So it flies away, and then you have the chassis left, and there's a lot of chassis detail on this. It has the springs, just like almost like the lightning bug. Like you can see that, like it has those springs longitudinally, I think is the word. If I'm saying that wrong, I've said it wrong twice now. And then it has some like other detail. I don't exactly know what this is. I assume this is just the engine up here. So there's not a ton you can do with this right here because you can't really drive it without the drone in it. Because that's where the driver is. But I like this for the play experience, and since I like drones, that is a really cool car. So they'll probably do some cool stuff with it. I like the rescue element. I could see this being like a police or another rescue, or even like a military one, just because it has that like rescue element built into it. It would be cool to see it as a pace car or like a track safety car as well. But it does have tampos. Obviously, this part is plastic. It even has a plastic chassis because the metal part of it is this inner yellow part. So this is a little bit different because it has a plastic body and a plastic chassis, but the middle is metal. So this might be a stunner on the track. I don't know. I mean, this could have like great weight distribution and just like absolutely slay on the track. I don't know. I've never tried it. But it's a very interesting design. Again, very fantasy. If you can make a fantasy rescue car that could be capable of flying to get someone and driving, this is it. Boom, drone duty. And I can't remember what the other ones are, but that's like Hot Wheels, kind of like signature name. Like I think, don't they have like record duty or rescue duty? Like there's a couple more, and it's like the duty line. It's kind of duty line. It's kind of like the bricking line and some of the other ones that they have like a line of these special like rescue style cars. But so cool. Ready? Whoop. Looks good. Boop. Okay. And to the very last one of the year, the Aero Sculpt. So this is a very rare first like new model, and it's a premium. So this is a metal body, metal chassis, real rider fantasy casting. And I just found this the other day. I thought I was gonna have to get it off eBay to do this review like for the whole year, but I was so happy to find it in stores. And this legitimately is probably the most beautiful Hot Wheel ever made. Legit. Just the design, it looks very much like the Coupe Clip, like that same style design, but it's almost like 25% more the size. But it has some really nice design elements to it that I'm excited to open it up and take a look at it. So this is in the Boulevard line, which is a Walmart exclusive line. It's number 64. It's in the same mix as the rest of these cars. The Rover is another new one. The Mustang, the WRX, the Custom Nova, those all have been released before. The new ones for this release are the Rover and then the Aero Sculpt. So I'm really, really pumped to open this. I hope you guys are excited too. Rarely do we get a new fantasy casting in premium. I think, what was the Baja Bouncer? Was that one premium first? I can't remember. Oh, nice. And it has the double protector. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Hot Wheels. Shout out. My gosh, look at that thing. Remember, this is an original design. A Hot Wheel designer made this, 100% made this out of his own head. Now, did he take elements from real cars and mix them in his design? Of course. But this is a car that only exists in Hot Wheels land, and it is stunning. Legitimately, look how beautiful that car is. I mean, it looks very Mach 5, like from Speed Racer. It has that design element to it, but it also has like a Jaguar style front end. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I like almost like teeth in it. It's got that really swept front end look. Half the front tire is cut off for aerodynamics. It's got a huge like rear, I don't even know what you call this. it's almost like not a fidget toy, I don't know, but it's like comforting to rub that part right there because it's so smooth. Big exhaust pipe sticking out, single. Is that I guess it would be the exhaust pipe, even though it's like the canopy from the back. It almost looks like an exhaust pipe too, which we'll call it that. Like, look at the body lines on this thing. It's brushed metal. There are no tampos on this. I don't think there's a single tampo on it. That also might be, I need to do some research. That might be the first premium casting to not get a single tampo. So it's pure, it's raw Zamac and it has no tampos. Like even the Coupe Clip has tampos on it. But it's like, you can kind of see it has the same similar design element to it. It's almost like its little brother. But the cool thing about this is if you look right there, it actually has a guy, there's a person driving it and they have goggles on. You can see in there, it has a face, like the helmet. This is a helmet and that's a face inside the plastic, like the little like driver's compartment. No detail at all, but it has a face in there, which I think is awesome. So it's hard to explain this car. It's so simple. I mean, there's nothing to it. There's no chassis detail. There's no engine detail to it. I mean, there's no interior. There's no tampos, but somehow this is probably one of the more spectacular Hot Wheels designs I've ever seen. I mean, it is just incredibly done. It'll be interesting to see this car in the future, what colors they put on it, like when it actually gets painted. I could see it in a British racing green. I think it would be cool if this part back here was colored like flat black. I think that would be cool. I think it also would look good in yellow. Really good in any color, bright blue. But I think this first design, just how it's raw, there's no paint or anything on it, just leads to that like artwork element to it. Like it's becoming something. Man, it is just stunning. I'm serious. This is probably one of the most beautiful Hot Wheels that has ever been designed. Man, it's like, I don't have enough good things to say about it, but it's hard to keep talking about it because I just want to take in all the lines on it. Man, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you like this, if you hate it because it has no tampos and it's so simple. On one aspect, I'm like, Hot Wheels kind of like, they didn't have to spend a lot of money on this one. They didn't put a ton of tampos on it. It doesn't have a lot of detail, but it is a lot of metal. It's a full metal, you know, as all premiums are, metal body, metal chassis, but there is a lot of metal on this one, which probably played a part in that. But I don't think it needs tampos. Like, this is a car that just, the design speaks for itself. I really don't think it needs a ton of tampos. Do I look forward to seeing it in different colors? Yes, just because I think the design would lend well to different colors. But man, I love it. I love that they're releasing cars in Zamac like without anything on them. I just think it's cool to see that raw like metal design on it. Man, so beautiful. Like, this looks like it would be at like the Pebble Beach Concours, like winning the first race class of like a restored race car or something. That little hump in the center. Man, that is so, so cool. So good. I don't know who designed this. I probably should have looked that up. But whoever it was, they did a fantastic job on this. Seriously. Man, I don't have enough good things to say about this casting. It's definitely going to end up in my top 10 castings of the year. Or it's probably just going to be my fantasy casting of the year because it's just so incredible. This, and this will probably be the premium because I think it was the only one. And then I really like this is probably basic fantasy casting of the year. I had to take a second because I'm looking and I'm like, man, they look good. There were so many good cars to pick from this year. I mean, Hot Wheels blessed collectors with a ton of good fantasy casting. The Glory Chaser, the LoLux, what is this called? I can't remember. Hot Wired. I mean, the Coupe Clip, the Lowrider, even the bricking cars. They're all so good. Hot Wheels, I love the imagination that Hot Wheels puts into its product. How cool they make them look, how fun they are to play with, the designs, the colors, the edges. When you open them, you get to touch the different elements, that you get to feel the louvers on the windows. When you play with them, you get to drag the mud flaps across the play surface. I mean, these are just so, so cool. So, man, Hot Wheels killed it this year. As always, just so many good castings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I know this was a super long video, but it basically was a year's worth of castings summed up in one video. I know it was super long, but I hope it was worth it. And I hope this video has convinced you to pick up cars you might not normally pick up and to share them with other people, whether they are the cupcake car with someone you know that likes to cook, whether it's an old school 60s race car like this that just looks, I mean, this would go, like, I have a bunch of race cars, like this would go perfectly with that CAR or that Real Riders, like, or even just on that like HKS truck will look pretty sweet. I mean, these are just such good castings. I really hope, like, doing these videos is enjoyment for me, but I really hope that people start loving fantasy castings more, because the designers get to put their, like, these are works of art. These are works of art that someone has worked on, that they had to make fit into a price range, to a size, to a material spec. Like, these are little works of art. I know they might not be licensed. They don't have a Chevy or a McLaren on them, but someone took the time and ability that I don't have to design these, and they do a great job with it. So I hope that when you're flipping through the pegs next time and you see a car like this that you might not normally pick up, take a minute, even if you don't buy it, to pick it up and look at it, look at the design elements, look at the job that the designers did, all the different curves of the bodies, the spoilers, the interior pieces, like the little turbine. They just did such a good job, you know, imagining what a fantasy car like this in a fantasy world could look like. They just killed it. Absolutely great job. Applause to Hot Wheels for making another great year of cars. I can't say enough good things about these. So let me know your thoughts in these in the comments. I know I probably rambled on about them, but fantasy castings are such an important part of the Hot Wheels casting library. They've been around since what, 69? I think when the first, like, what was the first fantasy casting or original? Probably Twin Mill. And Twin Mill's still in the main line today. So that shows you the staying power that Hot Wheels originals have. And they're some of the most notable Hot Wheels designs ever in the past 55 years. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Definitely go check out the attached article that I'm kind of writing on these. I'll have to, like, sum it up. I can't go into as much detail as I did in the video. Obviously, in the video is a companion to that article to give you a closer and better look at these amazing fantasy castings or originals. So check out the article, link in the description. I will try to put links to some of these if you want to get some of them off eBay or something. I don't have any for sale in my Whatnot store or anything like that. I probably should at some point, but I don't buy a ton of cars to sell, and these are ones I love to keep because they're so, so good. So again, thanks for watching. Sam for 64 Wheels. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. You stuck with me through the hour. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely hit subscribe. Follow me on the Lamely group for Lamely dailies, articles, write-ups, all that good stuff. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, I'm trying to think where else, Discord, TikTok, obviously YouTube, at 64 Wheels. I got a ton of good stuff coming up. In addition to these, I'm also going to be reviewing the 2023 castings when they come out. I also have more just diecast videos in general. So I really appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.